The Young and the Restless spoilers. Audra had reached her breaking point. She had endured more than she ever imagined: humiliation, mistreatment, and now, constant insults. The once confident and composed woman was now a shell of herself, crumbling under the weight of the manipulation and betrayal she had been forced to endure. She had fought so hard to establish herself, to rise above her past, but nothing ever seemed to go in her favor. The constant denigration from Victor, the man who had promised her so much, now felt like an unbearable weight. She had been his pawn for too long, but now the game had grown crueler. Every promise he made to her had been nothing more than lies wrapped in his charm, and she had fallen for it, only to realize too late the extent of his exploitation. The sting of his manipulation was worse than anything she'd ever felt before. But it wasn't just Victor. The others, too, were complicit. Kane, who had once made her feel like she could achieve anything, was now silent, watching from the sidelines, as if he had no stake in her suffering. And there was Jack, cold, detached, never acknowledging the pain she was in. But it was Tucker who stood out. He, of all people, had seen the injustice done to her. He had heard the taunts, witnessed the cruelty, and unlike the others, he wasn't willing to sit idly by. Tucker's fury was palpable. His anger surged through his every word, each sentence laced with a determination that Audra hadn't seen in him before. He had always been the calm and collected businessman, always in control, but now, he was a force to be reckoned with. He was furious, not just with Victor, but with everyone who had hurt Audra. It was as if the last straw had finally broken, and the man who had always been shrewd and calculating had now become someone who would stop at nothing to protect the woman he cared for. "I'm going to nice," Tucker declared, his voice cold and filled with an icy resolve. "I know everything that's been going on, and I won't let it stand any longer. Not for Audra. Not for anyone." Victor, the puppet master, had believed for so long that he could control the situation. He had thought that his power over Audra was absolute, that she would remain under his thumb as long as he wanted. But Tucker was about to prove him wrong. The stakes had been raised, and the game was no longer just about business, it was personal. Audra was already in the midst of a storm, but Tucker's arrival would only escalate the chaos. The tension was thick as he made his way to Nice, his mind racing with thoughts of what he would do when he finally confronted Victor. This wasn't just about Audra anymore. This was about power, control, and making sure that Victor realized no one, not even him, was untouchable. Meanwhile, in Nice, Victor was in his luxurious suite, unaware of the storm approaching. His mind was occupied with his usual manipulations and dealings, but that calm facade quickly shattered when the door to his room was slammed open. The security alarms blared, but it was too late. Tucker had arrived. Victor's heart skipped a beat. This was the moment he had been dreading. Tucker stepped into the room, his presence commanding, his eyes cold with fury. "You've gone too far, Victor. Way too far." Victor's expression faltered for a moment, but his usual bravado quickly returned. "What is this, Tucker? You think you can just walk in here and threaten me?" He stood up, trying to maintain his composure, but Tucker's gaze was unwavering, and the air was thick with the unspoken understanding that this confrontation was inevitable. Tucker didn't waste words. "You've manipulated Audra for long enough. I've warned you before. If you think you can keep exploiting her for your own gain, then you're sorely mistaken. This ends now." Victor chuckled, though there was a hint of nervousness in his tone. "And what are you going to do about it, Tucker? You think you can scare me with your threats? I'm not afraid of you." But Tucker wasn't intimidated. He took a step closer to Victor, his eyes blazing with intensity. "If Audra is hurt again, if you lay another finger on her, then I will make sure that your empire, everything you've built, comes crashing down. And I will be the one who does it. You won't see it coming, Victor. Because when I strike, it will be from a place you'll never expect." Victor's face paled. The room was silent except for the sound of his breathing, as if he was calculating the weight of Tucker's words. He knew that Tucker wasn't bluffing. The man had always been a calculating strategist, but this was different. This was personal. And when Tucker made a promise, he delivered. "Do you understand what I'm saying?" Tucker's voice dropped lower, more menacing now. "If you continue to exploit Audra, there will be consequences. I will protect her, and if that means taking you down, then that's what I'll do." Victor's mind raced, but before he could respond, Tucker was already making his exit. As the door slammed shut, Victor was left standing alone, his mind spinning with the implications of Tucker's words. He had underestimated the lengths to which Tucker would go for Audra. He had thought he could control the situation, but now, he was facing an adversary who was far more dangerous than he had ever imagined. Tucker's message was clear. No one, not even Victor Newman, was beyond his reach when it came to protecting the people he cared about. Audra would be shielded from any further harm, no matter the cost. But what was the true nature of Tucker's relationship with Audra? What had happened between them that had pushed him to this extreme? Their connection was more than just business, there was something deeper, something unspoken that lingered between them. Perhaps it was a bond forged in shared experiences, or perhaps it was something more. But one thing was certain, Tucker was not just a businessman. He was a man with the power to destroy those who crossed him, and he would stop at nothing to ensure that Audra was safe. As Tucker left the scene, his heart heavy with the weight of his promise, he knew this was just the beginning. The battle for Audra's freedom was far from over. But now, at least, she had someone in her corner who would fight until the very end. As tensions rise, Adam's patience with Chelsea begins to fray. His anger reaches its peak when Chelsea, in her steadfast defense of Billy Abbott, crosses a line. Adam has always been a man of control, someone who prides himself on his ability to navigate the complex power struggles of the Newman family. But Chelsea, with her continued loyalty to Billy, is a thorn in his side. Adam's disappointment grows as he watches Chelsea's unwavering support for Billy. He can no longer stand by and pretend that everything is fine. It's clear to him that Chelsea is playing both sides, pretending that Billy is an innocent party, when the reality is far more complicated. The idea that Chelsea could stand by Billy, a man who has caused so much disruption, without acknowledging the full extent of his actions, feels like a betrayal to Adam. In his mind, Chelsea is either with him or against him, and if she's still defending Billy, it's clear that she's not fully on board with the Newman agenda. As the situation escalates, Adam decides to confront Chelsea. He believes that if she's truly going to be a part of his life and the family business, she must make a choice. She cannot continue to play the role of the neutral party, the one who defends Billy while pretending to be aligned with the Newmans. Adam, in his usual blunt manner, tells Chelsea that she must fully commit to the Newman team and stop pretending that Billy is anything other than a threat to the family. But as much as Adam wants Chelsea to take his side, he can't ignore the growing complexity of the situation. Billy, in his own right, is not someone to be underestimated. He has his own plans, his own ambitions. And those ambitions center around Jabot. Billy's goal is clear. He wants to protect Jabot from Kane, who is making a move to take over the company. It's a chess match, and Billy intends to be a key player. At some point, Adam and Chelsea find themselves face-to-face with Nick and Sharon at a cafe. It's an unexpected confrontation that only adds more fuel to the fire. As the four of them sit together, the air thick with unspoken tensions, Kane and Billy inevitably come up in the conversation. For Adam, this is the moment where everything comes to a head. He cannot stand the idea that Billy is still a part of the conversation, still a threat to the Newmans, and it's clear that he's ready to take matters into his own hands. But the real drama unfolds behind closed doors, as Kane, ever the manipulative player, is caught in a web of his own making. He has his own agenda, and as the story continues to unfold, Kane will find himself locked in a game with Lily Winters. Lily, always calculating and strategic, has a proposal for Kane. She's willing to help him, to offer him an opportunity to reshape his future. But only if he can give her one thing, the truth. Kane, however, is reluctant to fully expose himself. He knows that revealing the truth to Lily could mean the end of any chance of redemption. But Lily's demand is clear, she wants him to tell her everything. Everything about his return to Genoa City, the real reasons behind his actions, and the hidden motives driving his every move. She wants the whole truth. And Kane knows that if he doesn't comply, there may be no way to salvage his future. Lily's patience is wearing thin, but she's also torn. She's seen through Kane's facade before, and she knows that beneath the bravado and the charm lies a man with deep secrets. What she doesn't know yet is just how much those secrets could tear apart the fabric of their lives. Kane may be playing a dangerous game, but Lily is just as willing to engage in the high-stakes drama of the Newman family's world. The only question now is, will Kane give her what she wants? Or will his refusal to be fully honest be the end of their fragile alliance? As tensions rise, the players in this high-stakes drama find themselves facing off in a world where power, loyalty, and deception rule the day. Adam's frustration with Chelsea, Billy's strategic moves, Kane's hidden motives, and Lily's desire for truth will all collide, creating a perfect storm of drama and suspense. In this game of high society chess, everyone has a move to make, and no one is truly safe from the consequences of their actions. The truth is, in the world of the Newmans and Abbotts, loyalty is a fragile thing, and betrayal is always just around the corner. The lines between right and wrong blur, and every character must navigate their own complex web of relationships, ambitions, and secrets. The stakes have never been higher, and the consequences of every decision are more dire than ever before.